Though Erie County's health commissioner announced today that the county will now adopt state guidelines when it comes to COVID and schools. Channel 2's Dave McKinley has more about how this might impact schools locally.
It could result in a lot less kids being sent home and into quarantine, and schools not having to shut down, as we saw most recently in Akron. After 17 students at Akron High School tested positive for COVID, it resulted in more than 175 of them being subject to quarantine. As that's nearly 40% of the school's population, the decision was made to send everyone home and revert to remote learning for 1 week. Educators say, though, this was largely due to Erie County's policies, which went far beyond state health department guidelines. State guidance says if students wearing masks are kept 3 feet apart, they are not considered to have been close contacts to someone who tests positive. It goes further to state people who are fully vaccinated do not need to quarantine after contact with someone who is suspected or confirmed to have COVID-19. But in Erie County, Health Director Dr. Gail Burstein set rules that said if there are 2 confirmed cases in a 10-day period in a classroom or on a bus, everyone in them goes home and into quarantine, whether they were masked or not, and even if they were vaccinated. Erie County set the policy at a time when the state offered no guidelines, as the health department under the administration of former Governor Andrew Cuomo said the decision should be made locally. But once she became governor, Kathy Hochul quickly directed the state health department to issue guidelines, and it did just over a week later. Since then, educators and some parents groups have been pushing the county to adopt those guidelines based on CDC guidance in order to allow children in Erie County the same access to school that other students in other counties throughout the state have. Because if it had, in the case of Akron, for example, the 17 students who tested positive, and not all 400 here, may have been the only ones going home.
It seems unlikely that applying the state's close contact standard to that circumstance would have resulted in that number of quarantines.
Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.